Now, if you're trying to do this, stay down on the golf ball as you're moving through impact. What I'm afraid to say, on the entirety of YouTube, there is not going to be one feel out there that is going to magically get you staying down, because the reason of why you can't stop standing up and why 99% of amateurs can't stay down and can't stop standing up is because they are missing moves in their golf swing. Because you standing up is happening because of something else going wrong earlier in your golf swing. And you won't be able to stay down in posture like the top pros if you don't fix those. Now, here's the 3 main root cause reasons to why you stand up. And then once we've gone and delved into that, and we'll give a little fix for each of one of these, then we're gonna get into a drill that will give you the feel to stay down. But it's only gonna work here, guys, if you fix your root cause. So the first root cause here is posture. So this is where a lot of golfers are setting up in a way which they're trying to physically set up in this way, which is actually making them come out of posture going through the golf ball. And that's in that athletic posture we always hear about. So where you've got that almost kind of little bit of extended lower back, so that curvature to it, and really straight kind of mid and upper back. So I've heard quite often the posture being taught like, let's say if it's a goalkeeper in football or soccer, if you're over in the US, being like they are waiting for a penalty. So many instructors tell people to stay just like that and then grab a golf club and now you're in a good golfing posture. Wrong. You're gonna absolutely stand up going through the golf ball, because what that does, that gets your armpits in front of your toes, even on them. So then as you start to swing, the pressure is gonna move onto the toes, because if the weight of the upper body is displaced in front of you from this awful athletic setup, if you turn that downswing, then produce all that force, it's all gonna go into your toes. So if you do stay in posture, you're just gonna shank the golf ball or completely fall over. So what 99% of golfers will do from there, they will stand up to try and regain their balance. So it will look a little bit like this. So really high shot, quite often out there to the left. So absolutely not great, not gonna be able to compress it. You're gonna have that stereotypical early extension from there. So what we need to do for those golfers for the fix is we need to get these armpits over the balls of the feet, not on the toes or in front. So this is what I call old man posture. So that's where the characteristics are. Pelvis is tucked underneath you. You've got relatively straight legs. Yes, there's a little bit of a bend to them, but you can see here, look at the lower back. It's dead straight, and then look at my upper back and mid back. See how it's slightly curved, which is like the old man with a cane. It's that type of thing. So, okay, this is absolutely awesome to stay in posture. So I said, now the weight of the upper body is placed over my balance points. So my balance points being my knees and then the balls of my feet. So as I turn and move through the golf swing from there, it is so much easier for the weight of my upper body to be managed by my lower body. So then as I start to turn down the downswing, I don't need to do anything to regain my balance. I can move that pelvis back, move myself into flexion in the downswing, and then deliver some nice angles. So what we want to do as a little procedure to get ourselves into this, so stand upright with a tiny little bend in the knees, like you're talking to someone in front of you. Then grab your club and then relax your mid and upper back until the club hits the ground. There we go. Now, if you're someone like me who has quite long arms, you might need to take a little shuffle back. But now you're in a great spot. You don't want to change your posture as you do that. So again, like you're talking to someone in front of you, little bend in the knees, club out in front, relax mid and upper back, club hits the ground there. Now you're in a much better place to be able to keep your posture. So let's hit one here and give it a go. So the second reason of why you can't stop standing up is because your club face is way too closed in your golf swing. So if your club face, as you're taking it back, has the grooves pointing towards the ground and the club face pointing dead up towards the sky at the top, which is a lot of people, if you stay in your posture and try to rotate from there, you are going to have that club face point massively left. Now, this is where you've got to realize you're not Dustin Johnson. Because Dustin Johnson absolutely has a very closed club face in his golf swing. A lot of people try to teach what he does because, of course, he's great. But what Dustin Johnson does that a lot of mere mortals can't is Dustin Johnson gets himself so unbelievably open and rotated. Now, rotation is something I preach on my channel, but Dustin Johnson level is very unrealistic. What that does is that gives him a ton of forward shaft lean. The more forward shaft lean you get, the more the club face opens. So you might think, okay, let me try and open myself up like Dustin Johnson. Good luck, because even if you do that, you're going to hit the ball so unbelievably low. I'm going to try. I generally can't open up like Dustin Johnson, so let me do here, really close club face. I'm going to do what makes most golfers close their club face off too much. Let's see if I can try and hit it straight from there and see what happens. Nope. Goodbye, ball. Look at that. That is missing the vertical range. Really hard to do. Professional golfer, I can't do that. So most likely you won't be able to either. So what golfers will do to mitigate this closed club face, again, they've got to find a way to open it, which isn't the way that Dustin Johnson does, because he has so much speed with that rotation. He gets enough lift still to be able to hit the ball. More ball speed you have, more lift you're going to get onto it. If you manage to rotate like Dustin, not hit that one there, your ball's going to go too low to be functional. So most golfers need to open up that face. How they will do that is standing the body up. When you stand the body up, raises the hands, that opens up the club face. So again, really close club face. Again, if I can stand the body up fast enough, oh God, that hurts the back, I tell you. So again, I've managed to somewhat, I mean, I've hit the range that time, don't get me wrong, but not great, is it? Not great. So here I'm using a A-time, 138 there. That is not the normal distance I hit my A-time, it's roughly around 155. So the fix for this is, for the love of God, have a standard grip. So I see so many amateur golfers out there, grip it so unbelievably strong. Again, I can understand the logic. See a lot of tour players grip it really strong, but again, on the realms of Dustin Johnson, they swing very, very fast and have a ton more rotation than most amateur golfers can get. Amateur golfers gripping it really strong won't be able to create that shaft lean that a lot of those pros can. So that's like we said with the Dustin Johnson analogy. You need shaft lean to be able to offset functionally a very strong grip, but it's just not going to work for you. For golfers who are slicing it, yes, again, I can understand why you are strengthening the grip. You'll make the club face most likely more close to the path, but still it's a club face to path issue, is the slice. So that's where work on your club path as well. Neutral grip is what we want. So if we can get ourselves 2.5 knuckles on that left hand, and then with the right hand there, line between thumb and the meat of the hand, points up towards your right armpit. That's nice and neutral. So when we swing back, that club face is going to be matching my spine angle, square to the arc, and then we don't need to do any funny business to be able to re-square it coming in the downswing. We'll stay square to the arc, we can stay in our posture nicely, where we've got that really strong grip, 4 knuckles on that left hand, right hand almost underneath it. That's going to cause, for the vast majority of you, really close face. You're going to have a big cup left wrist to try and mitigate that. Awful. So, nice neutral grip. 2.5 knuckles left hand, right hand, thumb between, right there, that meat of the hand, right shoulder. You don't need to do anything to re-square it from there. Just keep it nice and square to the arc. So, the third most common reason of why I see golfers stand up is because you are starting the downswing with a shaft like this. Dead steep. So if you're really steep, and if let's say you rotate through the golf ball there and stay in posture, you're going to completely chop across it. So what most golfers will do once they're really steep is, again, they've got to find a way to get this golf club onto the ball functionally. So if you're going to, let's say, fix that club path, that really outwind steep across it, you're going to come out of posture. You're going to stand up. That club shaft is then going to start to pitch back. So you can see, as soon as I stand up, what happens to the golf club? Pitches back there. So it fixes that steep shaft issue. So really, really tough to play consistent golf with this. This is where a lot of golfers can be steep early, where they might think, okay, that's just going to be out to win, but they will be actually reading a very in-to-out path. So I'm going to try to replicate that. I'm normally quite shallow golfer, so this might be a hard one for me to demonstrate, but you'll see the club path get actually quite inside doing this. So steep and then stand up to mitigate that. So it's definitely curving quite considerably to the left there. It's actually, funny enough, not too dissimilar to my normal club path, but I do that from almost being quite shallow, not shallowing it late. Because you've got to remember, standing the body up, coming out of posture, is a shallowing mechanism. So that's where if you're steep, you're going to stand up to shallow it. So that's where, what is our fix? Getting shallow. So getting shallow, very, very misinterpreted bit of information online getting shallow is. So getting shallow is ultimately just the center of mass of the golf club, which is right around where that balance point is, so right here. We just want this portion to pitch more back than where it was at the top of the backswing. So preferably pitch so it's pitching slightly behind. Not behind you as in club path and hand path. We just want it to start to pitch down. So that's where we can be golfers who even hit shallow fades. We can have a lack of depth and then shallow, and we're still technically shallow because that club is pitched more back than where it was at the top of the swing. But if we're just in a normal spot, we shallow the golf club, we can then stay in posture and turn, and that club's going to be presented onto the golf ball nicely. We don't have to have any other manipulation through there. So getting a good fix for this isn't as straightforward as one size fits all. So let me go and talk about that after this shot. So to get yourself shallow from steep, there are actually many things in the golf swing which can make you steep, from the trail elbow getting a little bit behind you, from having too much extension of the left wrist, loads of different reasons. Maybe you're pulling really hard on the handle coming down, that can steepen it also. I do have a full course on this, which is called, absolutely, Ultimate Guide to Shallowing the Golf Club in the Downswing. There's a link in the description to go pick that up, because there are many ways that you could be getting steep and then how to fix it retrospectively. So why have I got this stick in my hand? Because this is a good one just to train the feel of shallowing. So it's a good little fix. Again, it's not going to fix your root cause reason to shallowing, as there is absolutely, just like we said, there is for that, but it'll give you the feel. So grab an alignment stick, have the stick coming up the left-hand side of the shaft there, and at the top, we have the stick pointing behind us, and then we want to get the stick pointing in front as we start that downswing. That's our move, that's our feel. So if we can get that going, that's going to be an absolute brilliant one for us. So we want to get that stick pointing in front as we're starting that downswing, and that's our way to go with that. So do a bunch of those, get that feel like that stick is pointing back out in front of you, and then turn in that downswing through the ball. It's going to make you stay in posture easier, but I'm going to give you a good drill right after this. So we need to be shallow to be able to stay in posture. So guys, this drill I'm going to show you here is only really going to be beneficial if you're working on your root cause. So you can work on your root cause at the same time with this, depending on what it is, of course. But it's absolutely a brilliant one to actually physically get feedback on whether you're staying down in posture or not. So don't feel like you can jump working on your root cause going straight into this. You're going to be wasting your time if you do that. So it's a good one to do alongside it or after it. So grab a stick, place it underneath your right arm. Got a lot of the stick coming out in front of you now. So what you want to do with this stick, the downswing, you want it to be pointing down towards the ground as you're turning. So if you stand up, come out of posture, the stick is going to be pointing in front of you. So you want the stick to be pointing down as you're turning. That's going to be telling you you're staying down in your posture. So stick pointing down as you're turning. Good one to do. Now you're hitting kind of like little half swings with this. So the ball's not going to generally go massively far. Isn't necessarily going far for me today. I feel a little bit under the weather. So I'm not generally producing that much club head speed. But generally you'll see probably about 10 yards shorter when you do this drill, just because you're doing it half swing. So you're not doing that full completed backswing. So stick down, turning down through the golf ball. Lovely. Really nice controlled ones. Absolutely brilliant. So fix your root cause. Those are the three main ones. And absolutely, there are more than this. I've got the ultimate guide to rotation in the downswing, which absolutely touches in a lot of that, and also my early extension masterclass. All courses that are down in the video description all touch on this and really expand on it a lot more. So pick those up if you want to. But if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.